Hey my friends, welcome back. Today we're deciding if we are rooting for these people or if their stories are unrootable. Let's dig deep into these Reddit stories. Alright, we got the first one coming up. Here it is. Interviewing manager got up and left mid-interview when asked about work hours. Whew, we are starting off right in the middle of this. Alright.
Ignore me. Bye, bitch.
It's a weird question too to ask specifically about work hours, maybe early into the interview, but it's even weirder behavior for that manager to get up and leave. Weird. Anyway, let's see where this ends. My cousin went to interview at the company, it's a retail company, for a general manager position after being referred by a friend. Okay, all right. You got a referral, it's being referred by a friend, someone you trust, all good things so far. The friend, also a GM, was present during the interview along with his boss. All right, so it seems like the friend was in the interview and the boss or his boss was also there. Okay, so kind of like a panel style interview, multiple people, one candidate. Long story short, they were being very vague about work schedules, hours, and pay. This is where the spidey senses are coming out, right? If they're being vague about these kind of things this early on to the interview process, red flag. I mean, if you've seen any of our videos before, you know that a good company won't really hide this thing. They'll be transparent. They'll tell you from the start what you can expect, what you can't expect. My cousin then asked, what days and hours does this position require? I think that's a very valid question. I think that's a very valid question, and good on your cousin for being upfront and just asking it directly. They gave a beat around the bush answer. All right. Well, another sign that maybe this is not the place that you want to be. She asked again, and the boss got up and left. Yeah, weird. Weird. At that point, if I was the candidate, I might get up and leave too. I mean, that's just unprofessional. That's just weird. That's just weird behavior. And then it goes, anyone experienced anything like this before? I'm pissed. I don't blame you. I don't blame you. Based off of this interview, I would not be moving forward. If I'm the candidate here, I would probably close that too. So if we're rating the behavior of the hiring manager, I mean, this is an obvious unrootable. We are not rooting for this. That does not, it's just not good. It's just not good professionalism. It's not a good look on you, on your company. If you're the hiring manager before and you get a little rattled, you can't just get up and leave. That kind of shows how you'd be as a manager if they got the job. So if you're the candidate, you should leave too. It's just not cool. Here's what the comments are saying. Bridget did it. Good on her for interviewing them back. They didn't get the job and they knew it. Ooh, that's the perfect way to describe it. Because you are interviewing them. Yes, you want the job. Yes, you want to get the high pay. Yes, you want to impress them. But at the end of the day, you got skills too. You got value. So when you can walk into the interview knowing what you bring to the table, you can do what Bridget did it just said, and you were interviewing them back. So that's what she did. She interviewed them back more explicitly than other people will, but then she got the response. If they get up and leave, you get up and leave. You got your answers. My name is Sho Dewan. I'm an ex-recruiter turned career coach. Here is Unfiltered Careers, where I'm gonna give you all the secrets, all the tips to get hired and paid in a career you love. Let's get started. Let's go to the second story. Hopefully this one is a little bit better on the candidate side. We get some good news. Let's see. Let's go. I know some employers are assholes. All right. I was wrong. Maybe it's already going to be an unrootable situation from that. I know some employers are assholes, but I didn't think they could be this cruel. I'm feeling this is not going to end well. But let's see. My buddy got fired for not coming in on his day off because he was at the hospital because his wife and baby girl are fighting for their lives in the ICU. What? Where in hell are you finding these companies, man? I don't want to go into detail about my buddy's situation because it isn't my place. I mean, it's our place now, man. What are the names? What are the companies? We will find them. We will tell them that this is wrong.
I will look for you. I will find you.
But he calls me late last night saying he has to rush his wife and new baby girl to the ICU, which is valid. That's life. I talked to him all night with him scared out of his mind. Call him this morning and he informs me that his job just fired him. That is just brutal. That is so tough. I mean, you could say you dodged a bullet. You could say you are in a better place now. But just to be even in that situation in the first place, you doing what you gotta do for your fam and your company punishing you for that, that is fucked up. That is so wrong. And I'm no attorney, I'm no lawyer. I would say there are some things that I think are unlawful happening here. I think there is some things that you can pursue if you did want to from a legal route. Not encouraging you always to go there, but things like this that is that effed up, that's just wrong. That's just wrong. He got fired because he refused to come in on his day off, which is today, and was being, in their words, unprofessional. Man, complete L by the company. Complete unrootable thing you can do here for an employee. That is just tough. Completely wrong. I was in the employee shoes and this just happened to me. I just got fired because I went to the hospital because of my wife and my new baby girl. Knock on wood that never happens to me, you, anybody. Knock on wood, please. But if that happened to me, I would probably pursue some legal stuff. But if you are in this situation, this is where speaking to a professional will help you. And this professional is not going to be HR. This professional is not going to be someone at the company. Probably a legal professional. That's how I would take it. Let's see what the comments are saying. The comments are saying, why do people still think employers care about you? It's literally them using you to do the work so they don't have to and can focus somewhere else. Hunt Psychological 673 said this. If they had to choose you between $100, I'm sure old Franklin would be heading home with the boss. Harsh. Don't always agree depending on the company, but I see the validity in this, especially when you see situations like this. We got an update. I am happy to report. So OP reports again. I am happy to report that they're not only making a full recovery, but the asshole manager is not fired, but in jail. Woohoo! Woohoo! Woo! Woo! So I'm assuming they did take that route, the legal route, the professional route, and justice was served. Ooh! As his family were fighting for their lives, his boss called to see what was going on, and he told his boss what happened. His boss was livid and retired him on the spot, and he fired the manager. So the manager's manager, so the boss's boss, took matters into his own hands. That's another route that we didn't talk about. I went, the suggestion I said, maybe go professional, maybe go legal, but you could also go to their boss's boss or someone that you really trust within the company that's a senior position and tell them the situation. And if they aren't crooked too, if they are actually a human being, they will do what this boss's boss just did and fired him on the spot. Good for you. I love it. That is a boss's boss we can get behind. I love it. In reaction, he attacked the owner and his wife, who also happens to be his parents. What in the nepotism fuck is going on? Jesus. Have you ever seen the movie Bad Boss? Wait, is it Bad Boss? What's that movie? What's the movie with Jason Sudeikis, bad boss. What is that? Horrible Bosses. Horrible Bosses. Have you seen the movie Horrible Bosses where Jason's character, his new boss is a son of his old boss who died, and his new boss is terrible? It's kind of like this, but the other way around. Jesus. He attacked the owner and his wife. He attacked his parents. So fast forward a few months, my buddy has a good job with more money, love it, while the asshole manager is in jail. Karma. Sometimes things work out like the way they should. I still think it's wrong that he got fired in the first place for taking your wife and your baby to the ICU. Unrootable L for the boss who fired the OP's buddy, the guy who took his wife to the ICU. But for the boss's boss, I root for you, man. That is the right thing to do. You fire the person who did the wrong thing, and you reward the person who got harmed for not doing anything wrong. So, W, boss's boss. Let's keep it moving. Just got the formal diagnosis. That's what OP started with. I have freaking PTSD from a previous job. Woo! The worst people I've ever worked with. It's so bad that it's now affecting my current job. Years later, I am now in therapy. Man, that is what a bad job can do to you. So listen to this, my friend. If you're watching this, if you're listening to this, and you're seeing these stories and you're like, man, I can relate to that. I can feel for that. I am in a bad job as well. I am getting PTSD from my current boss. It's never worth it. It's really never worth it. Your health, mentally, physically, spiritually, whatever illy health you can think of, that is more important than your work. That is more important than your shitty boss. So don't let it fester to the point where you're in the hospital or you're somewhere else in your deathbed because of this bad boss, because of this bad job. Leave ASAP. I know it's easier said than done, but leave ASAP. It's just not worth it. Going back to this. OP is now in therapy. Please don't be a dumbass and try to stick it out hoping it'll get better. Yeah, it's not worth it. I might feel for the OP. I feel for the OP. Good advice here. Don't try to stick it out thinking it'll get better. When you see someone's signs of who they are, that's who they are. Same thing for a job. If you see the signs of a bad job, 99% of the time, that job will stay the same. They'll find somebody else who's desperate enough to take that job. But don't be that person who takes it. So let's say you're in this situation right now. You're in a bad job. You've been there for 3 to 6 months. It's not showing any signs of getting better, but you need the money. What do? What you do, my friend, if at all possible, is you save a little bit of a safety net. At all possible. I really hope you're not month to month or paycheck to paycheck right now, but if at any chance possible, save a little bit of a safety net. If you can save for 3 months, 6 months of living and saving costs, as long as you have that, quit that damn job. Yes, best case scenario is you're looking for a new job while you're in this situation. That's best case scenario. But I know some jobs that are so bad that it's messing with your mental health that you can't even have energy to do anything else. So if you're in one of those situations, I say I am giving you the green light to quit your job and relax for a few weeks and then hit it hard, because you do not want what happened to OP here and let that affect you years from now. So OP, with your advice and with you taking what you learn and sharing it to us and others, rooting for you, man. That is a W act. Keep going. I know you're in therapy right now, but I think you will recover because of all the good that you're doing now. Karma will reward you, my friend. All right, let's do to the next one. Do free work for a chance to get an interview. What a deal. Yeah, no. Free work for a chance to get an interview? I'm already opposed to doing free work during the interview. Free work to get an interview? Oof. But let's see. All right, this is an email. This is an email that we're reading. The headline goes, follow up graphic design selection process. Okay, so this is an artistic role, creative role, graphic designer role. Hi, name. I trust this email finds you well. I wanted to touch base regarding the design assessment for the graphic designer position. We sincerely appreciate your interest and the effort you've put in. As we haven't received your completed assessment yet, I just want to check in and see if you've had a chance to review the instructions and begin the task. Here's a reminder. Test information. Access the test document through this link. Carefully review and comply with all instructions. Pay good attention to detail and ensure that your design reflects precision and clarity. Feel free to inject elements of creativity into your design. Remember, your submission is a sole prelude to the interview phase. Additionally, please remember to include me in CC when you forward your submission for the review. If you have any questions or clarification, please don't hesitate to reach out. Thank you for this attention. Thank you for your attention to this matter. Oh. All right. What would I do if I got this email? You know what? I might get a little flack for this, but it's not the worst thing I've seen a company do. I'll leave it at that. It's not the worst thing I've seen a company do. Because what they're pretty much asking for, they're asking for a cover letter. Their way of asking for a creative cover letter. Yeah, it's a little bit more work. Yeah, it's a little bit more thought that you might need to put into this. I mean, for some people, they might have the same effort that put in a cover letter. But that's kind of what a cover letter is, right? You are doing extra work than just applying online. It's not like they're asking you to do work for them. If they were saying, hey, we have a client right now who's asking for 3 deliverables on how to pitch this new soda company. I need 3 of your ideas and I want to see a new ad and I want to see graphics. If it seemed like work, like actual client work that they had, and they were trying to give it to you to do for free for the interview, red flag galore. But reading this email, it seems like it's a generic graphic design test that they do with all candidates. That's where I'm not completely okay with it, but I'm more okay with it than what I just said before about doing free work. So I'm a little on the fence here. Again, I don't love this by the company, but I don't think it's the worst thing that I've ever seen. The OP replied back with this email. Let's read this email. I have a feeling that this email might be a little aggressive. I mean, I don't know. I haven't read this yet, but if this is posted online, I would assume that they came back with a clapback, maybe, which maybe I wouldn't recommend. But let's read this first. Hello, I appreciate you taking the time to contact me. However, I don't think I'll be completing the uncompensated assessment as I'm currently committed to other projects. Doubly so, since I haven't had the chance to even get an interview for this position, which is usually a first step in other recruitment process I've had the chance to take part in. This way I can assess if my expectations line up with what the position is offering before committing my time. Very valid. Very, very valid. I think this makes complete sense. I'm sure you can understand if I was completing design assessments for every job listing I've applied for without having the chance to even speak with someone, I'd be very busy working on unpaid projects. Well said. Well said. Great context here too, right? This person hasn't even gotten a recruiter screen. So this person applied online. So let's say it takes 5 steps to get a job. First step is usually you apply online or you submit your portal, you submit your application somehow, you get the recruiter screen, maybe 2-3 rounds of interviews, and then you get the job. So this is right after the first step of just applying and they get hit with this assessment. Yeah, I see where OP is coming from. I completely see where OP is coming from. But only pause that I would have here is unless it's a freaking role that I would kill to have. If this is a job that I'm like, I'm a perfect fit for, I've been wanting to work here since I was, I don't know, in my 20s, and now I've had this experience and I would be a great candidate. I've always wanted to work here. I've heard the best things. That would be the only time I would maybe do an assessment like this. With you responding back with this email saying no from the start, I think it's completely valid, but what you're doing is you're pretty much closing that door. What OP could have done instead might have been saying 90% of this. I appreciate you taking the time to contact me. I at this time, I'm tied up with other projects. But instead of just saying no, I won't be moving forward, OP could have said, before doing this assessment,
I would love to see if this is a good fit first. Would we be open to have a quick call with the recruiter, with the hiring manager, 15, 30 minutes, just to see if our expectations are aligned, just to see if this is a good fit with my skill set, my experiences, and this experience is what I'm looking for as well. That's what I would recommend here. But based off of everything here, I would probably say rootable by OP. You did the right thing by standing up for yourself and doing something you didn't want to do, especially if it's that early on, rooting for you, rooting for that behavior. If it was me and if you're watching this, maybe next time do the same thing, right? Stand up for yourself, but see if you can still get on the phone with somebody. Because who knows? Maybe once you get on that contact, maybe you talk to a recruiter, they might then say, yeah, I totally hear you. And did I say that the assessment actually shouldn't take you longer than 30 minutes? And we think that based on the experience, you'd be a great fit for this position and another one. Like, you just never know, right? It might be a better position than you even thought of. So I say leave the door open next time and see where that goes. See what the comments had to say here. Bond2121 said, if they can't assess candidates based on a resume, portfolio, and interviews, they are hopeless. Would only recommend doing it if it's a literal ideal job. Yep. There it is. There it is. Applying for jobs is time consuming enough, let alone being given work to do. LMFAO. I agree with you, Bond 2021. If they can't assess you based off of that stuff, yeah, they're probably not a great recruitment team. But if it is an ideal job and you're like, man, this has everything written all over it that's gonna be great, I would agree with him and do it. I would agree with Bond 2021 here and do it. That's just my take. That is it for us today, team. This is Unfiltered Careers with Sho Dewan. I hope you learned a lot. Let me know some crazy stories. Let me know some crazy interview stories, work stories at podcast@workhap.com, and we will feature you in our next episode. I'll see you soon. All right? Bye.